A lot of people in the new year talk about how it is necessary, new year, new me, it's time to start over and move on, right? Leave 2022 in the past, let's move on to 2023. I don't always agree with that. I don't always agree with starting over. Hey sitters, welcome back to another video. It is Lydia, thanks for joining me. In today's video, I want to talk about how your successes or your failures in the past year can fuel your new year. So a lot of people talk about goals and what is to come in the new year and what they want to start or accomplish. However, I like to look back at my 2022 and I want to do the same and open your eyes for you to use your successes back in the 2022 and fuel them in 2023, or fuel that success in 2023. You can use it, right? I want to dive into a couple different things that you as a babysitter can do to double your successes this year because of your successes last year. I know that sounds a little confusing, but again, I want to dive into it and go ahead and get started up talking about what you have done in the last year that will help you become successful this year. We've all gained clients in the past year. I'm sure if it's 1 or if it's 15, you've gained at least a client or 2. I think that that is amazing. That is a major step in your success. Whether it's 1 or 15, you've gained a new client and you can use that to your advantage. I talk about in past videos using those who you already know to help you become a little more successful, use that to your advantage. And what I mean by that is let's say you've gained 3 new clients in the past year, right? And you go to each of those clients and say, hey, I would love if you referred me to 2 of your friends. Not obviously, most of the time, unless they're very new to the area, those clients will have more than 2 friends. I'm sure they have 5 or 6 other families that they know that have kids. However, start off small. I would love if you referred me to 2 new clients, right? 2, 4, 6. Not only did you gain those 3 clients last year, you're now going to try and gain 6 new clients for this year, right? Using those clients to your advantage, or they can help you grow a little bigger in your business. That makes sense to you, right? You just doubled the amount of clients you made last year, or you gained last year, this year by just talking to those 3 clients from last year. You've grown that relationship, you've nurtured that relationship for those 3 clients last year. Use that now, this year, to gain even more clients. Say you gain those 6 clients this year, double that in the next 6 months, or double that next year. Okay, how about some of these successes? Did you graduate high school? Did you start driving last year? Did you decide that childcare was going to be something that you were going to put your full-fledged effort and attention into? All of those are successes from last year that can fuel you this year. You started driving, right? This now means that you don't have to depend on somebody else to come get you or to drop you off. That means you don't have to worry about the families coming to pick you up and dropping you off. This is a determining factor for some families. If they have to come pick you up to watch their children and drop you off, that means that they can't take an Uber to go to their dinners and drink that night. They have to make sure that they're sober enough to get you home. That means there's a curfew. So by you driving, not only does that mean you don't have to depend on anybody, but you can also expand your area that you service. So you no longer have to worry about, are they in walking distance? You don't have to worry about if they are in a certain area that whoever your driver is or whoever is shuffling you to and from these jobs, that they're in the area or they don't want to go too far or drive too far. So you have just expanded your area of service and how long you can stay out, right? Your curfew is now dependent on you and how you want to, whenever you want to go home, right? So that means your schedule has shifted. I want to get into that as well. So if you have graduated high school, you are no longer having to get up early in the mornings, so you can stay out a bit later. You can start offering overnight services. You can start traveling with families if you want to. You're not so held down because you're still in high school. you've graduated and your schedule has shifted. You can take online classes now so that you can really just give yourself as much as you can to these families who need you. You can start nannying if you'd like, and get into that world. There's so much you can do now that your schedule has shifted and you have graduated from high school, or maybe you've graduated from college. That schedule change or a schedule shift is huge in the babysitting world, because that means you are opening up for more opportunities. In the last year, did you also maybe be exposed to some things that you hadn't before? Have you taken on more children? So, for example, were you previously only comfortable working with 2 kids, but last year you were able to experience working with 3 kids instead of 2 kids? Were you exposed to a new age group that you've never worked with before? Did you get the opportunity to do that? Those last year will now help you this year. You can now say, yes, I have worked with X amount of kids, or I have worked with this age group and I really enjoyed it. Or you can also say, I actually don't really thrive in working with infants. I'd rather work with toddlers and up. So those exposures that you had last year will now help you this year figure out where you want to go and how, where your boundaries are really. So again, something happened last year, take it and fuel it for this year. Educations and certifications are huge for families sometimes. It's a deal breaker. So did you get any certifications or education last year that can help you this year? So did you get CPR certified last year? Did you get a degree in early childhood education? What did you do last year that can help you this year build that clientele, or reach out to those who, for example, there's families out there who do not want to work with any babysitters who are not CPR certified. You can now go to those families and say, hey, I am CPR certified now and I would love to help your family out. Let's get you on the calendar, right? So getting those certifications, getting those educational certifications, whatever it may be, can help you this year in growing your clientele and expanding that pool of those who you can serve, right? Also, for example, last year I got my my lifeguard certification, which means now I can lifeguard for private pool parties if I'd like. So that is something now this year that this summer, I can offer and let people know that it's something that I do. So again, certification that I got last year is now going to fuel my success for this year. Again, it is very build upon. It's building blocks, right? Every year you're going to find something that will help you build for your success for next year. It doesn't even have to be next year. I like to break it down into quarters. So you have 4 quarters every year containing 3 months, right? So January, February, March is the first quarter. I like to plan in quarters because if I can get a certification done in 3 weeks, why am I going to wait to use that certification for next year, right? When I can use that in the next quarter, or I can use that in the next month or 2. So sometimes these successes don't even have to wait to be applied to the next year. They can be applied in the next couple months, right? However, when I do sit down and look at my past goals for 2022, and we go through and say, okay, I did hit these goals, I like to then say, okay, so by hitting these goals, let's see what I can do to use those for this year and for these goals that I have for this year, or these goals that I have in the first 3 months of 2023. So really looking back, not completely starting over. I really don't like the term of it's a new year, we get to start fresh, start over. Sometimes you don't want to start over. Sometimes you want to use what you've been doing and use it for the next year. I hope this is very eye-opening for you guys. I think that we as humans need to stop being so harsh on ourselves. When you accomplish something, no matter how small, it's a stepping stone for something else that you want to accomplish in life. So no matter how small it is still considered a win. And we need to look back on that and celebrate it, because it is going to push us and help us launch into bigger and better things. So not only as babysitters, but as humans, we need to accomplish or celebrate all of our wins. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.